Welcome to tonight's thrilling tale, where adventure awaits at every corner. Meet Sam, a curious and brave little explorer with a heart full of wonder. Tonight's story will take us to a hidden forest where secrets whisper through the trees and mysteries beg to be uncovered. Picture this. The morning sun peeks over the horizon, casting a golden glow on Sam's cozy little home nestled deep within the forest. But today isn't just any day. It's the day that Sam's courage will be tested like never before. What lies ahead for Sam? Could it be a forgotten treasure buried beneath the forest floor? A puzzling clue leading to an ancient secret? Or perhaps a magical encounter that will change everything? Get ready to follow Sam as we step into a world of excitement, discovery, and heart-pounding surprises. Keep your eyes wide open and your imagination even wider, because this is a story you won't want to miss. So settle in, let the adventure unfold, and join us on this unforgettable journey with Sam. Are you ready? Let's begin. Imagine a place where the air feels alive with possibility, where every rustle of the leaves might carry a secret, and where courage can turn the smallest of heroes into legends. That's where we're heading tonight, a world bursting with wonder, mystery, and heart. Sam isn't your ordinary explorer. With eyes that sparkle with curiosity and a spirit that refuses to sit still, Sam has always been drawn to the unknown. But today, even Sam can feel that something extraordinary is about to happen. As the story unfolds, you'll journey through twisting paths, ancient groves, and a land where every step holds a new surprise. What hidden wonders lie ahead for Sam? Could there be a forgotten key to unlock a mystery long buried? Or maybe a friend waiting in the shadows to share in the adventure? One thing is for sure, this journey will be anything but ordinary. So lean in closer, let your imagination take flight, and get ready to experience a tale filled with heart-racing thrills and moments of pure wonder. The time has come to join Sam on an unforgettable adventure, one that will leave you wondering long after the final word is spoken. Are you ready to step into Sam's world? Hold on tight, because the adventure begins now. Deep in the heart of a sprawling meadow, where the grass dances in rhythm with the gentle breeze, lies the bunny family's cozy little burrow. The meadow bursts with life, vibrant wildflowers in every shade. Imaginable sway lazily under the warm sun, and bees hum a soft melody as they flit from blossom to blossom. But today, something feels different. The air crackles with an energy that makes every leaf, every blade of grass, seem alive with anticipation. Overhead, the sky wears a canvas of soft blues and wispy clouds. But in the far distance, a faint streak of silver stretches across the horizon. A whisper of a storm, or perhaps something else. Sam steps out of the burrow, the early sunlight gleaming on their fur. A mischievous breeze tugs at their ears, carrying with it the faintest sound of rustling leaves, far too deliberate to be the wind's doing. They pause, their keen eyes scanning the meadow. Was that the call of a bird or something stranger? For a moment, the meadow feels unusually still, as though it, too, is holding its breath. Near the edge of the meadow, where the tall grass meets the shadowy forest, lies a cluster of ancient oaks. Their twisted branches stretch toward the sky like the gnarled fingers of a storyteller weaving a tale. Sam has always been drawn to that forest, its secrets calling to them like a song only they can hear. Today the shadows seem deeper, the forest darker, as if it's waiting for someone brave enough to step inside. A low rumble rolls across the meadow, almost too quiet to notice, like a distant drumbeat. The breeze picks up, carrying with it the faint scent of rain and something earthy. Moss, perhaps, or the dampness of a place long untouched. Sam tilts their head, listening intently. Somewhere out there, beyond the flowers and the tall grass, something extraordinary is waiting. The other bunnies in the meadow seem oblivious to the change in the air. They nibble on Clover, chase one another through the grass, and bask in the sun. But Sam knows better. Their heart beats faster as the rustling grows louder, closer. Was that a whisper? A voice? Or simply their imagination running wild? Near the burrow, a weathered wooden sign leans against a post, its paint faded with age. It points toward the forest, but the words are barely legible. Only one thing stands out, a symbol carved into the wood, a shape Sam has seen before in an old storybook. The memory tugs at the edge of their thoughts, like a puzzle waiting to be solved. Sam takes a step toward the forest, their curiosity outweighing their fear. The sunlight grows softer, the shadows longer, and the rustling of leaves grows louder. Could this be the start of an adventure? The world seems to hold its breath, as if waiting for Sam to make their choice. And so, with one last glance at the peaceful meadow, Sam ventures forward, toward the unknown and into the heart of the forest, where secrets lie hidden and wonders await. The stage is set, the journey has begun, and nothing will ever be the same again. Sam's small paws tread lightly on the soft earth as they move closer to the edge of the meadow. The tall grass sways around them like waves in a restless sea, whispering secrets only the wind can understand. Every step seems to echo louder in the stillness, each rustle of grass or chirp of a bird heightened by the strange energy in the air. The forest looms ahead, its trees standing like ancient guardians, their trunks thick with moss, and their branches intertwining to form a canopy that blocks out the sun. From within the shadows, a faint golden light flickers, just for a moment, then disappears. Was it real, or just a trick of the light? Sam's nose twitches as they catch a new scent, earthy, damp, and old, as though the very air is steeped in stories from long ago. The sound of the rustling leaves grows clearer now, almost rhythmic, like footsteps matching Sam's pace. They glance over their shoulder, but the meadow remains peaceful and still. At the base of the first towering oak lies a scattering of peculiar stones, arranged in a perfect circle. They glimmer faintly, their smooth surfaces etched with strange markings that seem to shift under the dappled sunlight. Sam crouches low, their heart racing. These stones weren't here yesterday. The faint rumble in the distance grows louder, resonating in Sam's chest. It's not thunder. It's something deeper, more deliberate, as though the earth itself is speaking. The sky above remains clear, but a thin veil of mist begins to creep out from the forest, curling around the edges of the meadow like a curious hand reaching out. Sam hesitates, their gaze darting between the meadow behind them and the shadows ahead. The forest seems alive, its trees swaying ever so slightly, though there's no wind. Deep within, a faint glow pulses, drawing Sam closer like a moth to a flame. The air grows cooler as they step beyond the first row of trees. The hum of the meadow fades, replaced by the soft creak of branches and the distant drip of water. A trail begins to reveal itself, winding through the dense underbrush. It's faint, as though it hasn't been walked in years, but Sam's sharp eyes catch glimpses of it. Flattened grass, broken twigs, a faint path leading deeper into the unknown. Sam takes a deep breath. Somewhere ahead, a new sound emerges. The gentle tinkling of what could be bells, or perhaps flowing water. It's hard to tell, but the melody is hauntingly beautiful, pulling them forward step by step. The deeper Sam ventures, the more the forest seems to change. The trees grow taller, their bark darker, their leaves tinged with an otherworldly silver sheen. The mist thickens, swirling around Sam's feet, and tiny specks of light, fireflies or something stranger, dance in the air. Suddenly, Sam stumbles upon an ancient archway made of twisted roots and vines. It rises from the ground like the entrance to a forgotten world. Carved into the wood are symbols that glow faintly, pulsing in time with Sam's quickening heartbeat. Beyond the archway, the forest seems to shimmer, its colors brighter, its sounds sharper. Sam pauses, their heart pounding. This is it, the point of no return. They glance back one last time at the meadow, now barely visible through the trees. Then, with a deep breath and a surge of courage, they step through the archway and into the unknown. The journey has truly begun. What awaits Sam on the other side is a world unlike any they've ever known, a place where mysteries come alive, dangers lurk in the shadows, and the greatest adventure of all is just getting started. As Sam ventures deeper into the forest, the air around them grows thicker, the whispers of the leaves turning into murmurs, and the once faint golden light ahead now flickers more brightly. Suddenly, their sharp eyes catch something unusual. Wedged between the roots of a massive ancient tree is a rolled-up piece of parchment. Its edges are frayed, and it's held closed by a tattered red ribbon. Sam's heart skips a beat as they crouch down to retrieve it. With trembling paws, they untie the ribbon and carefully unroll the parchment. It's a map, no doubt about it. The lines and markings are faded but still legible, showing a winding path through the forest with strange symbols, marking key points along the way. At the very center of the map is a large X, accompanied by the words, "The heart of the forest awaits." Sam's pulse quickens. Could this map lead to a hidden treasure? Or perhaps an ancient secret no one else has ever uncovered? But before they can dwell on the possibilities, a sudden crackling sound snaps them out of their thoughts. From somewhere nearby, branches snap, and the ground trembles faintly, as though something or someone is approaching. Sam quickly stuffs the map into their satchel and ducks behind a fallen log. Peering over the edge, they spot a figure moving through the trees, a shadowy, hulking form. Its movements are slow but deliberate, and its glowing eyes seem to scan the area with purpose. Sam holds their breath, every instinct screaming at them to stay hidden. The figure pauses, sniffing the air, then lets out a low growl before continuing deeper into the forest. Sam waits until the sound of its footsteps fades completely, then emerges from their hiding spot, their legs trembling. Whatever that was, it's clear the forest holds more than just ancient trees and hidden maps. Determined to find out what lies at the center of the map, Sam presses on. They leap over mossy logs, duck under low-hanging branches, and navigate winding paths that seem to twist and shift as though the forest itself is alive. The further they go, the darker the forest becomes until the sunlight is reduced to thin shafts breaking through the canopy. As Sam follows the map, they encounter their first challenge. A rushing river blocks their path, its waters frothing and churning over jagged rocks. There's no bridge in sight, only a series of slippery stepping stones that seem to grow smaller and more precarious toward the middle of the river. Sam takes a deep breath and leaps onto the first stone. It wobbles slightly under their weight, but they manage to keep their balance. The next few stones are easier, but halfway across, a sudden splash startles them. A sleek, shadowy creature darts through the water below, its scales glinting in the dim light. Sam freezes, their heart pounding, before making a final leap to the other side, landing safely on the muddy bank. Just as they catch their breath, Sam notices something unusual. A series of claw marks gouged into the bark of a nearby tree form a strange, spiraling pattern. The same pattern etched into the stones they saw earlier. The marks seem fresh, as if made only moments ago. Sam traces them with a paw, a shiver running down their spine. Suddenly, a faint voice calls out from the forest ahead. It's distant but unmistakable, filled with urgency and fear. "Help! Someone! Help me!" Sam's ears perk up, and without hesitation, they sprint toward the sound, their paws barely touching the ground. The voice leads Sam to a clearing where they find another bunny, a small, scruffy figure tangled in a snare made of thick vines. The vines seem to move on their own, tightening each time the bunny. Clover and Sam exchange glances, their breaths still shallow from the chase. The forest around them remains eerily silent now, as though the world itself is holding its breath. Sam carefully tucks the map back into their satchel, his mind racing. "We have to keep moving," Sam whispers, glancing in the direction the shadowy figure had vanished. "Whatever that thing is, it's not giving up, and I'm not leaving until we find out what's at the center of this map." Clover hesitates, her ears twitching nervously. "Do you really think the heart of the forest is real? Or is this just a wild goose chase?" Sam grins despite the tension. "Only one way to find out." Their path forward grows even more treacherous. The map's trail leads them through dense brambles that snag at their fur, over ancient stone ruins that seem to whisper as they pass, and into a clearing filled with peculiar blue flowers that glow faintly under the moonlight. "Don't touch those," Clover warns, pointing to the flowers. "My grandma said they're called sleep blooms. They release a pollen that can make you fall asleep for days." Sam nods, carefully leading the way along a narrow path that winds through the flowers. The air grows thick with their sweet scent, and both bunnies have to cover their noses to avoid breathing it in. As they finally emerge from the field, Clover stumbles on something buried in the dirt. Sam bends down to inspect it. A small, ornate key covered in rust but still intact. Etched into its handle is the same spiral symbol from the map. "This has to mean something," Sam says, holding the key up to the faint moonlight. "We're getting closer. I can feel it." The key, however, brings with it a new puzzle. The next part of the map shows a jagged line cutting through their path, a cliff with no visible way across. When they arrive at the edge, their hearts sink. The gap is wide and the ground below is lost in mist, the sound of rushing water echoing faintly. Sam scans the area, their sharp eyes landing on a series of ropes and pulleys attached to a rickety wooden bridge. "It's our only way across," they say, tightening their grip on the key. Clover eyes the bridge warily. "That doesn't look safe. Are you sure about this?" "Not really," Sam admits with a small grin. "But we've come this far, haven't we?" As they step onto the bridge, the wood creaks ominously, and the ropes groan under their weight. Sam leads the way, testing each plank before putting their full weight on it. Halfway across, the bridge sways violently as a strong gust of wind rushes through the canyon. "Hold on!" Sam shouts, gripping the ropes tightly. Clover yelps, grabbing the ropes as the bridge swings wildly. Just as the wind dies down, a new sound sends chills down their spines. A guttural growl from the far end of the bridge. The shadowy figure reappears, its glowing eyes fixed on them. It steps onto the bridge, its massive weight causing the entire structure to shudder. "We have to move!" Sam shouts, pulling Clover forward. The two bunnies sprint across the swaying bridge, the shadowy figure in hot pursuit. Planks crack and splinter beneath their feet, but they push on, their hearts pounding. Just as they leap onto solid ground, the bridge gives way entirely, collapsing into the misty abyss below. The shadowy figure lets out a furious roar, its glowing eyes glaring at them from the other side of the chasm. Sam and Clover collapse onto the ground, panting. "We're alive," Clover breathes, her voice shaky. "Yeah," Sam replies, pulling out the map. "But we're not done yet." The forest ahead seems to glow faintly, the trees shimmering with an otherworldly light. The path grows narrower, winding between towering stones that hum softly as the bunnies pass. Sam holds the key tightly, their mind racing with possibilities. Finally, they arrive at a massive stone door embedded in the side of a hill. The spiral symbol from the map is etched into its surface, glowing faintly. Sam steps forward and inserts the key into a small slot at the center of the door. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, with a deep rumble, the door begins to slide open, revealing a staircase that descends into the earth, illuminated by flickering golden light. Clover gasps. "Is this it? The heart of the forest?" Sam nods, their determination renewed. "Let's find out." As they step into the passageway, the door begins to close behind them, sealing them inside. The air grows warmer and the golden light intensifies, casting long shadows on the walls. The faint sound of a heartbeat echoes through the corridor, growing louder with each step they take. Whatever lies ahead, Sam and Clover know one thing. They've come too far to turn back now. The true test of their courage is just beginning. The golden passageway led Sam and Clover into a vast underground cavern. The sight that greeted them stole their breath. A shimmering crystal tree standing at the center of the chamber, its branches glowing with radiant light. The air seemed to pulse with the rhythm of a heartbeat, and the entire cavern glittered with specks of gold embedded in the walls. "This must be the heart of the forest," Sam whispered, their voice filled with awe. But as they stepped closer, a sudden chittering sound echoed through the chamber. From behind the tree leapt a squirrel, its fur gleaming silver and its tail puffed up like a feather duster. It landed on one of the lower branches of the crystal tree, crossing its tiny arms as it stared them down. "Well, well, well," the squirrel said in a high-pitched yet authoritative voice. "Who dares to disturb the sacred heart of my forest?" Sam and Clover exchanged astonished glances. "We mean no harm," Sam called out, stepping forward cautiously. "We've followed the map to find this place. We just want to see the treasure and learn its secrets." The squirrel twitched its nose, tilting its head. Secrets aren't simply given away. If you want the heart's gift, you'll have to prove yourselves worthy. Solve my riddle, and you may approach. Fail, and the squirrels smirked, gesturing dramatically to the cavern around them, where the walls seemed to shimmer ominously. Deal, Clover said before Sam could protest, her adventurous spirit taking charge. What's the riddle? The squirrel's eyes gleamed mischievously. It twirled a silver acorn between its paws and spoke. I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. What am I? Sam and Clover froze, their minds racing. I've heard this before, Clover whispered, tapping her chin. Something that grows, but isn't alive? Sam frowned, their gaze darting to the crystal tree. Wait, could it be fire? Fire needs air to survive, and it grows, but it's not alive. Clover's eyes widened. That has to be it. Sam turned to the squirrel. The answer is fire. The squirrel narrowed its eyes, twirling the acorn faster and faster, before suddenly grinning. Correct. You're smarter than you look, Bunny. Clover let out a sigh of relief, but the squirrel wasn't finished. But there's one more challenge, was said, hopping down from the tree and landing between them and the heart of the forest. A test of teamwork. The squirrel clapped its tiny paws, and suddenly the cavern floor began to shift. Tiles emerged from the ground, forming a grid of squares with glowing patterns, some depicting flowers, others depicting leaves, and a few blank spaces. To reach the heart, you must cross this path. But beware, step on the wrong tiles and you'll be sent right back to the beginning. How are we supposed to know which tiles are safe? Clover asked, her voice rising with nervous excitement. The squirrel winked. The heart rewards those who pay attention. Think back to your journey. Every clue you've encountered along the way will guide you now. Sam's eyes widened as they recalled the symbols they'd seen throughout their adventure. The spiral etched on the map, the glowing flowers in the meadow, the markings on the ancient door. It's a pattern, they exclaimed. We have to step on tiles that match the clues we've seen. Then let's do this, Clover said, her ears twitching with determination. Sam and Clover worked together, carefully stepping onto the tiles in the correct sequence. Sam led the way, recalling the patterns from memory, while Clover stayed close behind, double-checking their choices. At one point, Sam hesitated, unsure whether the next tile should be a flower or a blank space. I think it's the flower, they said uncertainly. No, wait, Clover said, pointing to a faint symbol etched into the edge of the previous tile. It's the blank space. Trust me. Sam nodded, stepping onto the blank tile, and the path lit up brightly, signaling they were correct. With each step, the tiles behind them disappeared, adding an extra layer of urgency. The squirrel watched from the sidelines, nodding approvingly. Not bad, it muttered. Not bad at all. Finally, Sam and Clover reached the other side of the grid. The squirrel bounded over, clapping its tiny paws. Congratulations! You've proven yourselves worthy of the heart's gift. The crystal tree began to shimmer even more brightly, and a soft humming sound filled the air. The tree's lowest branch bent downward, revealing a glowing orb nestled among its leaves. Clover reached out hesitantly, her paw trembling. The orb felt warm and alive, as though it contained the very essence of the forest. What is it? She asked in awe. The heart's blessing, the squirrel said, a symbol of balance and harmony. With this, you'll always carry a piece of the forest's magic with you. Sam and Clover shared a look, their eyes shining with excitement and gratitude. They bowed to the squirrel, thanking it for the adventure and the gift. As they turned to leave, the squirrel called out, And remember, true treasure lies not in what you take, but in what you give back. Don't forget the forest. Sam and Clover emerged from the cavern into the light of dawn, the orb glowing faintly in Sam's satchel. They felt a renewed sense of wonder and connection to the world around them, knowing they'd experienced something truly magical. Hand in hand, they made their way back to the meadow, ready to share their story with their family and ensure the heart of the forest remained safe for generations to come. As the bunny family emerged from the mysterious grid, their triumph still fresh in their minds, the cavern began to change. The glowing tiles retracted, and the cavern walls pulsed with a rhythm that felt alive, almost like the forest itself was applauding their success. Suddenly, the squirrel gave a small cough to draw their attention. Well done, but the heart's gift is only part of the journey. You must understand its purpose if you truly wish to be its keeper. What do you mean? Sam asked, tilting their head in confusion. The squirrel chuckled, hopping toward the crystal tree. It pointed to the shimmering orb. This isn't just treasure, it's responsibility. The heart is the forest's source of harmony. If it ever falls into the wrong paws, chaos will follow. The forest chose you not because you sought adventure, but because you have the courage to protect it. Sam and Clover exchanged a serious glance. They hadn't expected this weighty truth. But before they could respond, the cavern shook slightly, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. The forest is testing us again, Clover whispered. No, the squirrel interjected with a proud smirk. The heart is rewarding you. The crystal tree's branches began to sway, and its leaves twinkled like stars. From above, tiny specks of light drifted down like snowflakes, each one dissolving into the ground. Wherever the light touched, the cavern bloomed with life. Vines crept up the walls. Flowers sprouted from the floor, and the air was filled with the soft scent of lavender and honey. Clover reached out to catch one of the glowing specks. As it landed on her palm, she felt warmth spread through her, filling her with a deep sense of peace and joy. It's like the forest is saying thank you, she said, her voice soft with wonder. The squirrel nodded, its tail swishing excitedly. The forest remembers kindness. You've given it your trust, and now it's giving you its blessing. But just as the moment of peace settled over the group, the squirrel leapt up, eyes wide. Oh, I nearly forgot, it exclaimed. The heart has one final test, of speed. Before they could ask what it meant, the squirrel grabbed the glowing orb in its tiny paws and dashed off toward the far end of the cavern. Catch me if you can, it called over its shoulder. Are you serious? Sam groaned, but Clover was already laughing. Come on, Sam, this is fun, she said, bounding after the squirrel. Sam followed reluctantly, their ears flopping with each hop. The squirrel was surprisingly fast, darting around rocks and leaping over vines. Clover was determined, her eyes locked on the glowing orb. You're not getting away that easily, she called out. The chase led them back through the twisting paths of the cavern, with the squirrel giggling mischievously the entire time. At one point, it scurried up a rock wall, forcing Clover to think fast. She jumped onto a low ledge, using her strong legs to launch herself upward and block the squirrel's path. Gotcha, Clover said triumphantly as the squirrel came to a halt, its tiny chest heaving. The squirrel laughed, handing over the orb. You've got spirit, Bunny. The heart is in good paws. As the bunny family left the cavern, the forest seemed to welcome them back. The trees swayed gently, and sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting a golden glow over the meadow. When they reached their home, the family gathered around, eager to hear about the adventure. Sam and Clover told their story with excitement, describing the puzzles, the glowing tree, and the mischievous squirrel. And now, Sam said, holding up the orb, we carry the heart's blessing with us. It's our job to keep the forest safe. Their parents nodded proudly, and even the younger bunnies listened in awe. As night fell, Sam and Clover placed the orb on a windowsill where the moonlight could touch it. Its gentle glow filled their home, a reminder of the incredible journey they had taken and the bond they now shared with the magical forest. Outside, the squirrel watched from a tree branch, a satisfied smile on its face. Good job, bunnies, it murmured before scampering off into the night. The bunny family had not only found adventure, but also a deeper connection to the world around them, a treasure far greater than they could have ever imagined. As the moon cast its silver glow over the bunny family's cozy burrow, Sam and Clover sat together by the windowsill, watching the heart of the forest radiate its soft light. The younger bunnies were fast asleep, dreaming of treasures and magical forests, while their parents sat nearby, listening to Sam and Clover recount their tale once more. Do you know what I realized? Clover said, her voice thoughtful but bright. What's that? Sam asked, tilting his head curiously. Clover smiled, gazing at the glowing orb. That it wasn't just about finding the treasure, it was about how we worked together, even when things got tricky. We couldn't have done it without each other. Sam nodded, his ears twitching in agreement. And we learned to be brave. I was scared when the cavern started shaking, but you reminded me to keep going. Their father leaned in, his eyes twinkling. That's what courage is, Sam. It doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you don't let fear stop you from doing what's right. Clover's mother added, and curiosity can lead to amazing discoveries. If you hadn't explored that attic, none of this would have happened. Adventures begin when we're willing to look beyond what we already know. The family reflected on the many lessons the adventure had taught them. Teamwork makes challenges easier. Sam and Clover had relied on each other's strengths. Sam's cautious thinking and Clover's boundless enthusiasm. Together they solved puzzles, navigated the cavern, and even outwitted a clever squirrel. Courage grows when you face your fears. The dark forest and mysterious cavern had been intimidating, but each step forward had made them braver. Kindness creates connections. The squirrel had tested them, but it also guided and celebrated their success. It reminded them that even in challenging moments, kindness can turn obstacles into friendships. Curiosity leads to discovery. Exploring the attic, following the map, and venturing into the unknown had opened up a world of wonder they never imagined. As the night deepened, Clover turned to Sam with a grin. "Do you think we'll ever have another adventure like this one?" Sam chuckled. "Probably, but next time let's leave a note so Mom and Dad don't worry." Their parents laughed, pulling them into a warm hug. A message for everyone. The heart of the forest now glowed softly on the windowsill, a beacon of the magic and lessons that lay just beyond the comfort of their burrow. It wasn't just a treasure, it was a reminder that every adventure brings growth, and every challenge holds the potential for something amazing. As the family drifted off to sleep, the forest outside seemed to hum with contentment. The leaves whispered secrets of courage, kindness, and curiosity to the wind, carrying them far and wide. And somewhere, in a home just like theirs, another bunny might be peeking into an attic, ready to embark on their own incredible journey. The end, or perhaps just the beginning. As the moon cast its silver glow over the bunny family's cozy burrow, Sam and Clover sat together by the windowsill, watching the heart of the forest radiate its soft light. The younger bunnies were fast asleep, dreaming of treasures and magical forests, while their parents sat nearby, listening to Sam and Clover recount their tale once more. "Do you know what I realize?" Clover said, her voice thoughtful but bright. "What's that?" Sam asked, tilting his head curiously. Clover smiled, gazing at the glowing orb. "That it wasn't just about finding the treasure, it was about how we worked together, even when things got tricky. We couldn't have done it without each other." Sam nodded, his ears twitching in agreement. "And we learned to be brave. I was scared when the cavern started shaking, but you reminded me to keep going." Their father leaned in, his eyes twinkling. "That's what courage is, Sam. It doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you don't let fear stop you from doing what's right." Clover's mother added, "And curiosity can lead to amazing discoveries. If you hadn't explored that attic, none of this would have happened. Adventures begin when we're willing to look beyond what we already know." The family reflected on the many lessons the adventure had taught them. Teamwork makes challenges easier. Sam and Clover had relied on each other's strengths, Sam's cautious thinking and Clover's boundless enthusiasm. Together they solved puzzles, navigated the cavern, and even outwitted a clever squirrel. Courage grows when you face your fears. The dark forest and mysterious cavern had been intimidating, but each step forward had made them braver. Kindness creates connections. The squirrel had tested them, but it also guided and celebrated their success. It reminded them that even in challenging moments, kindness can turn obstacles into friendships. Curiosity leads to discovery. Exploring the attic, following the map, and venturing into the unknown had opened up a world of wonder they never imagined. As the night deepened, Clover turned to Sam with a grin. "Do you think we'll ever have another adventure like this one?" Sam chuckled. "Probably, but next time, let's leave a note so Mom and Dad don't worry." Their parents laughed, pulling them into a warm hug. The heart of the forest now glowed softly on the windowsill, a beacon of the magic and lessons that lay just beyond the comfort of their burrow. It wasn't just a treasure, it was a reminder that every adventure brings growth, and every challenge holds the potential for something amazing. As the family drifted off to sleep, the forest outside seemed to hum with contentment. The leaves whispered secrets of courage, kindness, and curiosity to the wind, carrying them far and wide. And somewhere, in a home just like theirs, another bunny might be peeking into an attic, ready to embark on their own incredible journey. The end, or perhaps just the beginning. As dawn broke over the bunny family's cozy meadow, the world outside was alive with color and promise. Sam and Clover were the first to awaken, the soft glow of the heart of the forest still shimmering faintly on the windowsill. It was as if the orb itself was quietly reminding them of all they had learned. They sat in the quiet of the morning, reflecting on their journey. Clover, Sam began hesitantly, do you think the forest would have trusted us with the heart if we didn't work together? Clover shook her head with a thoughtful smile. No way. It wasn't just about being clever or brave. It was about us being a team. You thought things through when I rushed ahead, and I kept us moving when you wanted to stop. We balanced each other out. Sam grinned. So teamwork really is the secret to solving anything? Not just teamwork, Clover replied. It's about believing in each other, even when things get hard. Remember when I got stuck in that vine? You didn't give up on me. Sam's face lit up. And you didn't let me freeze when that squirrel challenged us. You're right. Believing in each other makes everything possible. Life lessons from an adventure. Their parents soon joined them, sipping tea and listening intently as the siblings shared their reflections. It became clear that their adventure wasn't just a series of exciting events. It was a journey filled with life lessons that would guide them forever. Curiosity is the gateway to adventure. If we hadn't opened that old chest in the attic, we'd still be hopping around the meadow, never knowing about the heart of the forest, Sam said. Their father nodded. Curiosity is like a key. It opens doors to new worlds and ideas. But remember, curiosity paired with respect for the unknown is what keeps the adventure safe and rewarding. Courage comes in many forms. Clover leaned back, staring at the glowing orb. Courage isn't about never being scared. It's about being scared but still moving forward. Their mother smiled warmly. Exactly. And courage doesn't always mean facing big dangers. Sometimes it's as simple as trying something new or standing up for a friend. The power of kindness. That squirrel, Sam said, chuckling. It tested us a lot, but it wasn't mean. And when we won, it celebrated with us. Clover added, kindness can turn challenges into friendships. If we hadn't shown patience, the squirrel might have kept the heart forever. Their father laughed. Kindness is the language of trust. It's amazing how it can bring even the most unlikely friends together. The value of sharing stories. As Sam and Clover told their tale again, their younger siblings listened with wide-eyed awe. Your story has inspired them, their mother said softly. That's the beauty of sharing what you've learned. It encourages others to dream big and be brave. A gift to protect, not just possess. As the family spoke, the heart of the forest seemed to glow brighter, almost as if it was listening to their reflections. The siblings realized that their adventure wasn't just about finding the treasure, it was about understanding their responsibility to protect it. The forest didn't just give us this gift, Clover said. It trusted us to keep it safe. Sam nodded. And we can't take that lightly. It's not ours to keep. It's ours to share with the world by keeping the forest healthy and happy. Their parents beamed with pride. That's a big lesson for such young bunnies, their father said. But you've shown that you're more than ready to take on that responsibility. Inspiring the next adventure. As the sun climbed higher, the meadow outside filled with light, casting rainbows through the orb on the windowsill. The family felt a renewed sense of wonder and gratitude for the world around them. What do you think our next adventure will be? Sam asked Clover with a grin. Who knows, she replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. But I know we'll be ready for it. Together. Their younger siblings, inspired by the tale, began making their own maps, imagining the adventures they might have someday. Sam and Clover watched them, feeling a sense of pride that their story had already sparked curiosity and courage in others. The story of the bunny family's adventure wasn't just about them. It was a reminder to everyone that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Curiosity can lead to incredible discoveries. Courage and kindness are the keys to unlocking life's greatest treasures. And most importantly, adventure is everywhere, waiting for anyone willing to take the first hop. The final glow that night, as the heart of the forest cast its soothing glow over the burrow, Sam and Clover drifted to sleep with smiles on their faces. Somewhere in the forest, the squirrel watched over its friends, proud of the legacy they were building. The forest was alive with the whispers of a story well told, carrying its message far and wide. The bunny family's tale would live on, inspiring others to seek adventure, embrace curiosity, and always believe in the power of teamwork and kindness. The end of one adventure, the beginning of many more. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of pink and orange across the sky, the bunny family made their way back to their cozy burrow. The forest, which had been alive with the buzz of adventure, now seemed to exhale a deep, tranquil sigh. The rustling leaves whispered gentle goodbyes, and the distant hum of crickets filled the air with a soothing melody. Sam and Clover led the way, their hearts full of memories and lessons from the day. Behind them, their parents walked with quiet pride, marveling at how their young ones had grown. The younger siblings trailed close behind, chattering softly about the glowing treasure and the clever squirrel, their voices growing drowsier with each step. A warm welcome home. When they reached the burrow, the familiar scent of freshly baked carrot pie greeted them, wafting from the kitchen where their mother had prepared a special dinner. The warm light of their home spilled out into the meadow, wrapping around them like a comforting hug. As they entered, the bunnies shed their tiny adventure bags, placing the heart of the forest on a special shelf where its soft glow illuminated the room. It seemed to fill the space with a sense of calm, as if the treasure itself was happy to be part of their home. The family gathered around the table, sharing a hearty meal. Between bites, Sam and Clover recounted their journey in vivid detail, hopping over logs, solving the squirrel's riddle, and feeling the thrill of discovering the treasure. Their younger siblings listened with wide eyes, imagining themselves as heroes in their own adventures someday. The soft glow of gratitude. After dinner, the family sat together in the living room, the heart of the forest casting a soothing light over them. Their father leaned back in his chair, his voice gentle and reflective. Today we learned so much about each other, about teamwork, and about the magic of believing in what's possible. It's a day we'll never forget. Clover nodded, her eyes heavy with sleep. It was more than an adventure. It was special. Their mother smiled warmly. Special moments like these remind us how important it is to cherish every day and every opportunity to explore, grow, and love. Settling into comfort one by one, the younger bunnies began to yawn, their little heads nodding as sleepiness crept in. Their father scooped them up gently, carrying them to their cozy beds layered with soft blankets and pillows. Sam and Clover followed, still clutching small keepsakes from their journey, a smooth stone from the forest floor and a tiny feather from the squirrel's tail. As the bunnies settled into bed, their mother tucked them in, her voice soft and melodic. Close your eyes, little ones. Let the magic of today carry you into a world of dreams. Imagine the heart of the forest watching over you, its light guiding you to new adventures in your sleep. Sam closed his eyes, the memory of the glowing treasure vivid in his mind. Clover smiled to herself, imagining what other secrets the forest might hold. Their breaths grew steady, their small chests rising and falling in a peaceful rhythm. A gentle reminder to dream. The heart of the forest cast its glow across the room, its light dancing softly on the walls. It seemed to hum a quiet lullaby, as if encouraging the bunnies to dream big and rest well. The forest outside, once alive with action, now stood silent and still, cradling the burrow in its gentle embrace. The night was peaceful, the stars twinkling above, as if they too were part of the story. The soft hum of crickets and the occasional hoot of an owl added to the calm, lulling everyone into a deep, restorative sleep. A closing message for the audience. And so, the bunny family's day came to a close, full of adventure, lessons, and love. As they drifted into dreams, their hearts were light, their spirits full of wonder for what lay ahead. Now it's your turn to close your eyes. Imagine your own cozy place, a soft bed waiting to carry you into a world of dreams. Picture the adventures you'd like to have, the treasures you'd like to find, and the lessons you might learn along the way. Let the peaceful glow of the heart of the forest guide you tonight. Dream big, rest well, and know that tomorrow is another day full of possibilities and wonder. Good night. As the bunny family settled into their warm, welcoming home, the outside world grew quieter. The wind whispered softly through the trees, carrying the faint scent of wildflowers and earth. Inside the burrow, the warm golden light danced across the walls, casting gentle shadows of the bunnies as they moved about, each moment filled with the contentment of a day well spent. A moment to reflect before bedtime, the family gathered one last time in their snug living room. Clover held her younger sibling close, her paw tracing the treasure map they had followed. It's amazing how we started the day with nothing but this old map, and now we've brought back so much more than just the treasure. Her father nodded thoughtfully. The best treasures are the ones you can't hold in your paws, the lessons we learn, the memories we make, and the bonds we strengthen. Sam, always eager, added, but the heart of the forest was pretty cool too. This earned a chorus of soft laughter from the family, breaking the quiet with joy. Their mother leaned forward, her voice low and soothing. Today we learned about courage, curiosity, and the beauty of helping one another. No matter what adventures life brings, these will always be the greatest treasures of all. Transitioning to rest. The night deepened, the stars above twinkling as if winking at the adventures they had witnessed. The younger bunnies began to fidget less, their little eyelids growing heavier as the calming rhythm of the evening took hold. Come now, their mother said, rising and gathering the smallest ones in her arms. It's time to rest and dream of new adventures. The bedrooms were soft havens, each bed covered in blankets as fluffy as clouds. The bunnies snuggled into their pillows, the day's excitement giving way to a warm, drowsy calm. Sam and Clover lingered for a moment, watching the treasure on its shelf glow softly. Good night, heart of the forest, Sam whispered, as if the treasure could hear him. Clover smiled at her brother's words, her own heart full of wonder. A night of peace. As the bunnies settled into bed, their father's voice carried softly through the room. Close your eyes, little adventurers. Let the stories of today carry you into the dreams of tomorrow. Imagine the forest alive in your mind, its trees whispering secrets and its paths leading to places unknown. Sleep well, knowing that courage and kindness will always guide you. The heart of the forest pulsed gently, its glow fading and brightening like a soft heartbeat, as if it were part of the family's peaceful rhythm. Outside, the forest stood still under the moon's gentle light, a protective canopy cradling the bunny family's burrow. A final message for the audience. And now, as the bunny family dreams of their next adventure, it's your turn to rest. Picture yourself in a cozy space where you feel safe and warm. Let your imagination wander to places filled with magic and wonder. Maybe you'll discover your own treasure, solve your own puzzles, or meet new friends along the way. Take a deep breath, let the day fade away, and allow yourself to drift into dreams as sweet and calm as the bunny family's peaceful night. Tomorrow is a new page, waiting for you to write your own adventure. Sleep tight and good night.